dust of snow. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had ruined. Robert Frost.
ওকে, পোয়েমটা এতই ছোট যে শুরু হওয়ার আগেই শেষ হয়ে যায়। And come on, if you read it, it doesn't sound like much, does it? The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from my hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had. What's the big thing about that? What is it doing in your syllabus? If anything, it looks like a nursery rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling up. Probably Jack and Jill has got more meaning. So why do you have this poem? Well, with good reason. We will now study the poem line by line and see why it is so celebrated. Says the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. I'll highlight some words. Tell me what they mean to you. Crow, dust, hemlock. Can you tell me what they mean to you? Be free. Give vent to your thoughts. Poems are like that. They belong to you as much as they belong to the poet. Think about the words that I have just said. And what do you feel? Go on. Don't be shy. Ina, what do you feel? Tell me. Unmute and tell me. 3 words I am telling you. Crow, dust, hemlock. They're there in the poem. Tell me what you feel.
A crow is a bird.
Okay. Crow is a bird. Good. A very common bird, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else? Don't have to define the things for me. Just tell me what is the feeling inside. Crow, dust, hemlock. Okay, I'll make it easier. You read the poem, right? And you've heard what Sramona just read out.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what is your feeling. What do you feel? We don't read poems, we feel poems. What do you feel? Do you feel joy? Do you feel sadness? Do you feel anger? Poems normally bring out emotions in us.
So sad.
You feel a bit of sadness. Okay.
Yes.
Why do you think you feel a bit of sad? Okay, maybe I'll ask whoever.
Sir, he had a feeling of sadness because he had regretted a day.
There's that word which is rude, and that kind of tells us about regret, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It makes us, feel sad. But then he just says that some part of the day has been saved. Sanjana, your thoughts on the poem?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think crow shook down on me means that some danger has come in life, I think.
Some danger has come. Okay. So which part the crow shook down on me? Which part of this, normally gives you a feeling of danger? Like we got the sadness from the word root, which means regretted. Which part of what you just read talks to you about danger?
The way a crow shook down on me.
So symbolizes danger? I mean, is it possible that in subconsciously either the word crow or shook or the two together means danger to you? There's no stupid answer here. So you tell me what you feel. It's only about feelings.
The crow shook down.
Obviously,
I
there's
think-
something there that, yeah, tell me.
So the crow attacked him.
Could be, could be, could be. Tell me something. If he had not said a crow, if he had said a sparrow, would you have felt the same thing?
No, sir.
No. Okay. What if I take a bigger bird? If he had said a peacock, would you have felt the same thing? It's bigger than the crow.
The peacock is generally colorful, but a crow is black.
So what does the black symbolize to you?
Sad.
Sadness. All right. Now, before we move forward, we will also take a look at one of the things that was mentioned by you people, that Robert Frost's poems are about nature. Do you believe that this is, would you say that this is correct for this poem? That observation is correct? Are we still talking about nature? Are there elements of nature in this poem?
There are.
Antarish saying that there are nature. Can you highlight the words that relate this poem to nature? Elements of nature in the poem, can you highlight them for me?
Crow,
Crow,
the
okay.
snow,
Nature, and then snow.
snow,
The tree.
trees.
The tree. Okay, great. The tree, the crow, the snow, and the tree. Let's read the first four lines again. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Let's deal with crow first. A crow has been considered for ages. A crow has been considered a bad omen. What is a omen? Omen is something that tells you, it's a sign that tells you what is going to happen. Omens can either be good or bad. The crow has been a symbol of evil for a very, very long time. Have you read ghost stories? Yes, no, watched movies, or
Yes, sir.
ghost stories. Have you seen that Flight of Crows is considered bad, or in horror movies on a lifeless tree, a crow sits and caws?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right? So it does kind of give us a feeling that something bad is about to happen, right? He could have chosen any bird, yet he chose a crow. I mean, America is not so famous for crows in any case. There are crows, yes, but there are so many other birds there too. And he has gone for the crow. Apart from the fact that it makes very good coloring for the scenery, because you've got the white of the snow and the black of the crow, and they are in contrast. It makes very good reading, creates lovely images in your head. But again, would have been so many other birds. It would have been okay, but he has chosen the crow, which is considered a bad omen. Next, look how he does not say snow. He says dust of snow. He could have said snow, right? And we would still be thinking dust of snow, because snow is powdery, is it not? I mean, snow is not large blocks of ice, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there is no actual reason to say dust of snow, is there?
No, sir.
Okay, could he have not said dust of snow but said powdered snow? Could he have said that and it would have still meant the same thing to us? But he says dust of snow. And what do we relate dust to? When people die, we say dust to dust, ashes to ashes, which means that your body came from dust and you will be returned to the earth. You will become dust after your death. So now taking the crow was a bad omen. I mean, we were not sure whether crow would be a bad omen. We could, it's just a guess. But now, with the third line, dust of snow, could we say that maybe the poet is trying to tell us something? Can we? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
We can. But we need further proof. I mean, it could be a coincidence. We need further proof. So we'll have to dig deeper. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Have you ever heard the word hemlock?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, now hemlock is considered was supposed to be poisonous for human beings. Did you know that? Definitely not, right? What does it say over here about hemlock? Can somebody read this loudly? Maybe Pruttai?
Hemlock is a very poisonous plant. In fact, all parts of the plant are toxic. Hemlock is most poisonous during the early stages of growth in the spring, but it is dangerous at all stages of growth. The poison in hemlock are so deadly that people have died after eating game birds that had eaten hemlock seeds.
Oh my God. Now come back to the poem. You've got the crow, which is often considered a bad omen. You don't have snow, you have got dust of snow, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. And then you've got the mention of a hemlock tree, so poisonous that if a game bird consumes hemlock and you cook that game bird and have it, you might die by drinking hemlock potion. So, what do you think if at this point in time I talk to you about Robert Frost or whoever it is who is talking to us right now about his mood? What would you say, Adrija?
Emotions very depressed.
Gloomy, depressed, could be, right?
Yes.
And again, let's read the poem. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So let's imagine what is actually happening there. Maybe the poet has gone for a walk in nature, and because it's winter time, snow covers everything, including the branches of the trees. and maybe he's walking under the trees. I don't know whether he's walking under the trees or he's standing under the trees or he's sitting under the trees. Robert Frost never says much about things. He never says too much about things. He just gives you an idea, possible place that it might be, and he is happens to be under that tree where on a branch the crow is. Maybe because of him the crow gets disturbed. How should I know? Maybe the crow was flying and came and perched on the branch. Maybe the crow was sitting on the branch but disturbed. The crow wants to fly away and that shakes the branch. Or maybe the crow just happens to shake the branch because it is, uh, moving from one side to the other, just shifting position. But the way the crow did it, the snow fell. Snow that had collected on top of that branch fell. The poet is gloomy. The poet is depressed. We don't know. Now, are you still wondering why this poem is in your syllabus? This nursery rhyme-like poem? Or are you finding, extra layers in the poem? Is it a poem that deserves to be in your syllabus? Is it deep enough?
Yes. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Afro.
Yes, sir.
It's deep. Yes, I admit it is deep. But you see, Robert Frost does not write poems unless there is a message for human beings. Think about A Road Not Taken. Was there a message for human beings? A message that all human beings can identify with?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
What was that in the poem A Road Not Taken?
that we have to always choose a direction in our life, and it is impossible to change that decision later, if even if we want to do so, and we have to face the consequence of our
It's
decision.
impossible. It may or may not be possible, and most often we don't have the time to go and revisit that fork again. Okay, so that was the message. And is it common for everyone? I mean, really, everyone?
Yes, it is universal.
Yes, sir.
It
Yes,
is
sir.
very good. And those who have done stopping by woods on snowy evening, is there a message there?
Yes, you
Yes, sir.
commitment that you have to do, and that's true for everybody.
That you might want to take some time off and take some time out for yourself and pursue a bit of your hobby or something that interests you, but you can't because there are responsibilities, right? And that is true for everyone. Now, can we say that whatever we have read so far is true for everybody and this gloomy and depressed? You don't feel, I mean,
No, sir.
so dark and so gloomy ever. So then this is not a Robert Frost. Robert Frost poem has to speak to everyone. So now let's see if it is a Robert Frost. We go to the next four lines. But for that, because it's a continuation, we'll read from the beginning. The way a crow shook down on the dust of snow from a hemlock has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had. He had regretted the day. He was definitely in a gloomy mood. But doesn't this give you an idea that his mood changed? Didn't a part of his day get saved? Ankita, what do you think?
And maybe before the incident, it was saved.
I mean, imagine, here is an evil omen, a crow, shaking off dust of snow, which is like, people dying, and then hemlock, which is bound to kill you, and that changes his mood for the better. Like, yeah, people die all the time. I'm so happy. But we can't dispute the fact, Romana, that it does say that his mood was changed and a part of his day was saved, right? So whatever that crow did, it did heal him, Robert Frost. What do you say? Did it make him feel better or did it make him feel worse? It made him feel worse? Then how did it save some part of a day that he already regretted? And if he was already gloomy, then how did it mood? If his mood changed, a change of mood, then what did the gloomy mood change to?
Probably he felt that misfortune happens to everybody, and so his mood changed for a better, and he saved a part of the day that he had regretted.
So we have got a clue that his mood did change. And we know that it changed for the better because it says and saved some part of a day that he regretted, which means that he was in a bad, he was depressed. And now that we know that his mood changed, we can only imagine that it changed for the better. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a change. Can we go and then reread the first 4 lines and see if there's any other meaning to it? Let's do that. Maybe we were misled. Poets, they are tricky creatures. They will mislead you. Okay? And that is the reason why this poem is there in your syllabus. Okay. The way a crow shook down on me. Is there any chance that here in this poem, the crow is not an evil omen, but just a crow, as just like you are surrounded by crows, you see a crow and you don't run crying to the, temple, oh my God, what is going to happen? I saw a crow today. Maybe it's just a crow. Maybe it's just happened to be walking out in nature and he saw a crow. Is it possible?
Yes, he didn't say a raven, he said a crow. That is a pretty common creature.
Right. He didn't say a raven. He didn't say a rook. He just said a crow. We were just misled because the second line has dust of snow. But can it be that, it's just because the snow is powdery and saying powdered snow would have played with the rhythm of the line? So we have the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Can you see how the rhythm is there?
Yes, sir.
And if we change
Yes, sir.
that of snow to powdered snow, maybe the rhythm will break. And then maybe it doesn't make so much sense. So dust of snow may or may not mean something that has to do with death. But what about hemlock? It is indisputable, right? Is it or is it not indisputable? Did we not read about hemlock? We did a random search on the internet and that's what we came up with. Poison. Let me do the thing once again. Can you see these trees?
Yes, sir.
These are found in North America. These are coniferous trees, mountain trees. They are called hemlock. They have got nothing to do with the hemlock that is poisonous. The hemlock that is poisonous is not a tree, it's a creeper. He does mention hemlock tree, right?
Yes, sir.
The poison is derived from the hemlock plant, which is a creeper. Can you see the images of the plants? Does it look anything like the things that are there in North America?
No, sir.
Okay, so we were misled by the 3 words. So what does the poet mean now? Let's try and hazard a guess. Maybe the poet was depressed. So when he was depressed, what did he do? He took a walk. He went to nature. And what happened over there? Life happened. You know how in this winter time in North America, everything is covered in snow. So everything looks dead. How it looks dead? Number one, there are no animals. Why? The animals are all hibernating. That's what they do in winter. There are no birds. Why? Most birds have already flown away to the south for the winter. They have migrated. Only the scavengers remain, the birds that can tolerate. And they are few in number. So you don't see any movement in nature. Normally, if you go in the summertime, there'll be an insect there, there'll be a bird there, there'll be flowers, there'll be greenery all around, but not in winter. The scene will be totally different. And there will be no plant life also. The trees would have shed their leaves, and the trees that do not shed leaves will be covered in snow, so everything will look white in any case. So everything looks dead. But in this, and that's what Robert Frost is seeing when he takes a walk in nature. And then suddenly, a crow, a rare bird that is there. I call it rare because all the other birds have migrated. the crow, it does something. There must have been some movement. So the dust of snow is shaken down. Movement symbolizes life reasserting itself. It suddenly reminds you that there are better things in life, not just depression and death and decay. And that snow falls on him, it suddenly wakes him up. He is in this depressed state, and he suddenly becomes, because the snow falls on him, he suddenly becomes aware of his surroundings. And that crow, that bit of snow that fell on him, and him being surrounded by all the trees, till now he is so depressed and he is lost in his own thoughts. He hasn't even really bothered to see where he is. But now he sees that he is surrounded by life. All the hemlock trees are there, the beautiful hemlock trees, covered in snow, but not dead. And that sort of lifts him out of the pit he had dug for himself. Whenever we are depressed, the world looks bleak. When we are sad, we are bound to cuddle up, we are bound to go into a cocoon and tell ourselves, tears rolling down our eyes, tell ourselves, nobody in the world loves me. That's what we say to us. Is that or is that not true for you people? You may have had a row with your parents and you go into your room, you curl up, bunch up your knees near your stomach, and you're crying, and the only thought going in your head is, I will go away from all of this, nobody loves me, nobody understands. Adrija, can you identify with this human thought process? Have you experienced this when you're really, really sad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Antariksh?
The reason you said is not a reason for my sadness, but when I'm sad, definitely I do love to curl up and think such.
We wallow in self-pity, don't we? Prithvi?
Yes,
That is
sir.
the time to wallow in self-pity. It kind of gives us as a kind of weird, perverse pleasure in thinking that nobody cares about us.
Yes, sir.
Now, suddenly something or the other will happen. Because you do not stay in that state for a very long time. Something happens for each of you, and for every occasion that it happens, it might be a different thing. Maybe a tune that you suddenly hear playing in the next house, maybe a phone call from your friend, maybe something coming up on TV, maybe the phone blinking and a chat from your pal, maybe your mother coming in, putting her hand on your head, something. And then the world is all bright, cheerful again, and you get out of depression. What happens to those who cannot get out of depression? There are people who cannot get out of depression. But most of us don't, because something helps us to come out of that pit that we have entered and cannot climb out by ourselves. And Robert Frost is saying, in a very, very subtle way, because it's not Robert Frost's way to say things directly to you. You have to understand, saying that nature has that power. Nature will change your mood for the better. When things seem wrong, when you feel depressed, nature has the power to change your mood, to bring you to the side of happiness, to give you joy and find meaning in life. And so we started by reading the poem all wrong. Most people will read it all wrong in the very first instance. If only we would like to take things on a positive note, the world will be a much better place. And that is the power of Robert Frost. He takes 8 lines to misdirect you and then redirect you on the correct road, the correct path. Okay? So did you enjoy the poem?
If you want a video on a particular topic, let us know in the comment section below. And kindly visit our website raretutorial.com to know more. Thank you for watching the video. For more such educational content, please like, share and subscribe to our channel.